Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be doing a book review on Scythe by Neal Shusterman. If you guys don't know, Neal Shusterman is one of my favorite YA authors, and so I was really excited when he was coming out with a new book, and I wanted to read and review it for you guys. It came out last year at some point, but I am just now getting around to reading it. This book was also given to me by Mari from My Name is Marines, who I will leave linked down below. She's awesome, so thank you so much for sending me this book. Scythe takes place in a future Earth where the medical field has progressed so much so that when you become older, you're allowed to what's called turn the corner, and you'll get reset to a younger age. So if you're 60 or something like that, you can turn the corner and turn back into a 25-year-old. And with this medical technology, no one ever dies, and so the population of humans on Earth has grown exponentially, and other advancements have allowed disease and cancer and everything like that to all be eradicated. So there's really no way that humans naturally die on Earth anymore. The only thing is fire. If there's a fire and you die in the fire, then you actually die. But even if you die, like you jump off a building and you die, it's called being dead-ish, and they can bring you back to life and you can continue living. And because there needs to be some form of population control and making sure that the population doesn't grow too much, although it continues to grow no matter what, there's a group called the Scythes who are tasked with deciding which people need to be killed and what's called gleaned, and they're permanently dead and not just dead-ish. In this book, you follow two characters that both get chosen to become Scythe apprentices. And to become a Scythe, you have to be morally upstanding and have very good morals. So both characters are both really good people. The female main character's name is Citra, and she is very family-oriented. She's very loyal, and she is very straightforward. She doesn't fluff a lot. She gets straight to the point. She also has a very dry sense of humor, and she's actually a person of color. I think in this world, pretty much no one is any pure race. They all have all the races in them, and the way that they identify is they have different percentages for what they are. So there's a percentage for being white, black, Latino, Pan-Asian, and other. I don't really know what other is. Citra is primarily black. The other main character that you follow is a boy named Rowen. He is very compassionate and loyal to the ones that he has decided to be close to. He's not actually very close with his family, but he is close with this one best friend of his. He's very honest and selfless. He's very giving, and he's also very independent. He is primarily white, but again, as I said before, no one is any pure race, so everyone is mixed race. Neither of these two main characters want to become Scythes, but they end up accepting the apprenticeship for different reasons. As usual with my book reviews, I'm going to go through my pros, my cons, give you my rating, and be done. My first pro is that you just cannot help but like the two main characters of this series because they are chosen for their moral standards and for being good people. And although it's very common for YA and middle grade characters to really be morally high-grounded, it makes sense in this book that they would be because that is a requirement, again, for becoming a Scythe. Another thing that I liked about this was just the world in general. I liked that the Scythes are one governing body. They decide who lives and who dies, basically, and they have a quota with how many people they have to kill. I think it's like 240 per year. And they also have quotas where they have to make sure that they aren't prejudiced in any way, so they have to make sure that the people that they kill are all diverse and all the numbers equal out in the end. In opposition to the Scythes, there's also this thing called the Thundercloud, and the Thundercloud has taken over all of the governments in the world. There's no reason for there to be a government when no one dies and there's no fighting over land or food or any resources or anything like that because there's plenty and no one has to fight over any of it. The Thunderhead basically takes care of everyone. It's not some rogue computer that is taking over the world. People actually like the Thunderhead being in charge, and the Thunderhead is not allowed to get involved with the Scythe, so it's a big separation there, but I really liked seeing both of those and seeing how people view the two different ruling bodies, basically. I could also really believe that this was the future because the language and the words that people use have all been very simplified. Because there is no United States or anything like that, the names of different areas have become shortened. So instead of it being Middle America, it gets shortened to Mid-America because over time language simplifies and words become condensed. And this book mainly takes place in Mid-America, but there's different regions and they're all called something shorter than what they used to be. I also like that in between every chapter you get this diary entry. All Scythes are required to keep diaries, and I really liked seeing the different opinions that the different Scythes that show up in these diary entries have. Their different viewpoints of what they're doing and how they morally view the fact that they're having to kill 240-ish people per year. And also Scythes take the name of scientists or important people in history. And so it was really interesting because at first I was trying to figure out who the different Scythes were and how they would play a role in the story and everything like that. So I really enjoyed those diary entries because it gave some insight into the characters without it being so blatantly said within the narrative. It was actually the character telling you they view this way. Another thing I liked was just the fact that the two characters are being apprentices, so it just became kind of a game of trying to figure out if they would even become Scythes in the end. Would they pass their tests that they have to take? Obviously there's some bad things that are happening, so what will that have as an effect on them and how they will deal with those things? I was just trying to figure everything out, and it was very, very entertaining for me. I was reading some reviews after I finished the book, and I saw some people complain about the bad guys in this just being kind of like your stereotypical maniacal bad guy that's just evil for being evil, and I don't think that that is necessarily true. Yes, it kind of seems like that, but if you think about the background of the bad guys, obviously it's gonna have something to do with the Scythes, so that's not a spoiler. But if you think about the idea of Scythes is that they're forced to be killers and kill 240 people every year, and they can live forever, so they can live for hundreds of years and they're taking hundreds of lives every year. That amount of pressure and morally wrong actions would really upset people. It would make sense that someone would have a break at some point and try to rationalize the situation that they're in and figure out why they were given this ability to become a Scythe and everything like that. Sorry if the angle changed, my camera just died. But I don't think that the bad guys are evil for being evil. I think that they're evil because they're a product of what they've been forced to do. Now on to my cons. One of my cons is that I just didn't feel for the characters as much as I thought I was going to when going into this book. I just felt like I was watching their story happen, and I didn't feel invested in their story, if that makes sense. So if something bad was happening to them, I was like, oh no, dang, that sucks, but what's gonna happen next? And that kind of thing. And the only other con that I had was that the loyalty between the two apprentices didn't really make sense to me. I didn't see where the two of them would have become such great friends that they would be super loyal to each other. I felt like there could have been some extra time at the beginning of the novel where the two characters really become really good friends, and then I could see why they would be so loyal for the rest of the book, but I just didn't see it. So that kind of pushed me out, and I was like, well, what the heck? Why are you making these decisions? Look out for yourself, look out for your family, that kind of thing first. I don't really understand it, but it is what it is. So because of all my pros and just a couple of those cons, I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars out of 5 stars. I loved it so much. I'm so excited for the series to continue. It was exactly the quality of storytelling that I expect from Neal Shusterman, so I was very happy with this one, and I definitely recommend it. That's gonna be my review on Scythe by Neal Shusterman. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below if you've read this book. Have you read anything similar? I actually just read a book that was similar in thought process where the human race has found immortality, but I didn't like that one quite as much as this one. So if you have any recommendations that do something similar, leave them down below. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.